Hello stamping friends, it's Angie here with Too Cool Stamping with another live class. This week we are featuring the Artfully Composed Suite. It's something that kind of was on my mind. It's all of the leaves are coming out here in Indiana, and I know the mini catalog's going to be retiring soon, and I wanted to make sure I use this because the paper is absolutely gorgeous. If you like leaves, this is a great class for you. Now, before we get started with our class, I have several announcements to make, so hold on. Just bear with me for a second because we are in the middle of a transition week for the catalog. This is always a really exciting week. We're going to be having our brand new catalog come out next week on May 3rd. So our current catalog, this is good until May 2nd. There is a last chance retiring list promotion going on right now where you can go to my website, toocoolstamping.com, get a list of all of the items that are retiring as of May 2nd. They will be gone for good. Many of them have already sold out. Everything is while supplies last. Some items are up to 50% off, so be sure to check out the list before everything is gone on May 2nd. Now, our new catalog is going to be coming out on May 3rd, and this is of course, there's always really exciting things in here. Lots of fun new stamp sets, new papers, all kinds of new tools. You're going to love this catalog. So if you don't have it already, if you're on my list to get it, you should be getting it at any time. I know that it's probably in the mail by now. I send it through Stampin' Up. So you should be receiving it anytime. It's meant to get there before the catalog officially begins May 3rd. If you don't know whether you're getting a catalog from me or you'd like to get a catalog from me, just send me a message and give me your address and I'll make sure that you get one as soon as possible so that you can start ordering next week. So that is what's happening this week in the transition. Also, in case you missed it, I do have my paper share information available on toocoolstamping.com. Paper share is simply a way that you can try all the new papers in the catalog for a really budget-friendly price. You get 142 sheets of 6x6 size of all of the new papers, and it's just $45 plus shipping if you need that. So I'm here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So if you can pick it up, you can save on shipping even. So go to my website, toocoolstamping.com. It has all the information there. I find groups of 8 people to get together and share the cost of all of those papers. And I organize all of that. I'll send you out the invoices once we get a group filled up. And we have several groups going already, but I'll keep that open until the interest starts to decline. Or I think I said about May 20th or something like that. So, but I would hurry up and get it right away because you never know when some things could sell out even at the beginning of a catalog because of supply chain issues. We just never know about those things. So if you want to get in on the paper share, go to toocoolstamping.com and click on that information. There is a sign up link right now. Also, I've had many people ask me about my In Color Club. Yes, we will be doing the In Color Club. We have 5 gorgeous new In Colors. I love, love, love them. And I will be sharing those with you very soon along with details for my In Color Club. So just a brief overview of what that is. We have, just like the paper share, we gather up groups of people. In this case, it's going to be 5 people for the 5 new In Colors. And each month you're going to receive a pack of all of one color of all of the items. So you'll get the cardstock, the ink, the refills, the markers, the designer series paper, the ribbon. And this year we are actually having 2 kinds of ribbon. There's a baker's twine as well. So there's going to be like 7 different color items that you get each month, each in a different color. And then my bonus is that I send supplies to make 4 each of one design of cards. So you'll have 4 cards that you can create with that color of ink for that month. So again, we gather up 5 people and we'll split the cost of that. I believe it's $48 a month plus shipping if you need that again. And I'll have all of those details coming out to you probably on Saturday. I'm not sure for sure, but it'll be in the next couple of days. So look for that on toocoolstamping.com. All right, one more thing I wanted to mention before we get started with our class. I'm sorry for all the announcements, but sometimes it's just a busy time of year. So this announcement, unfortunately, I'm going to have to be raising my minimum cost for what you need to order in order to get the live class kits. So typically each week we have a 5-card kit that I have available that goes with the class, and you can earn that kit for free with a $35 minimum order with me. I need to raise that to $40 beginning next week. So this class tonight still at the $35 threshold, and then starting next week with the brand new catalog. They've had many price increases, as you can imagine, with inflation and supply chain issues and everything. All the costs are going up everywhere. The stamp pads are a little bit more, the cardstock is a little bit more, papers, embellishments, many things. So with the cost of that, plus postage is going to be going up in July. So I'm just going to raise that to $40 right now, and that should cover the cost of those free kits for you to earn. So just want to give you a heads up that that's happening starting next week. This week, still $35 for the threshold. Okay. We're working with Artfully Composed. I think I mentioned that. Beautiful, beautiful suite from the mini catalog. Oh, and I've had a couple of questions also about the mini catalog retiring list. That's going to be coming out in a few weeks, in the middle of May. This mini catalog runs through the end of June. Of course, they have it has its own retiring list, and that's going to be, I think, maybe around May 25th or something like that. They're coming out with a last chance list for that catalog. And once that list comes out, then all of those supplies are going to be while supplies last again. So if you want this designer series paper, if you want this particular bundle, which is it's not in the new catalog, so I'm assuming it's going to be gone for good at the end of June. You'll want to get that this week so you can earn that class kit. All right, let's flip the camera around. I'm going to show you what products are in the suite, and then we'll get on to our cards. All right, hold on, everybody. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to let you know about our host code. Remember, you can earn that class kit that we're going to do today for free. All you have to do is place a $35 order, and you can go to toocoolstamping.com, click on the Shop Now link, and then make sure that you put in that host code that I have written here. I'll also have it at the top of the video in the details. So that is the MUKKEKAP. That's going to be on the checkout page right at the top on the right hand side. There's a box there that you can add that host code, and that lets me know which class that you want, because a lot of times I'll have 2 classes going on at one time. So I want to make sure that I get you the right free class. All right, let's take a look at the awesome products in this suite. It's going to start with the Artfully Layered bundle. This is such a beautiful, beautiful stamp set. It has all of the makings for beautiful collage layered stamping. Some lovely sentiments, and I like the fonts that are in this one especially. So this is all really beautiful. Then we also have the dies that come with it. These are the tropical layered dies. So you'll have frame dies that you can use to cut out your stamped elements, and then you'll also have some intricate dies that are beautiful for layering and making different collage pieces. So we'll be using several of those. And then there's also these. I didn't use these in my projects today, but these make little textured patterns if you run a piece through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So really, really cute. Honestly, I just try to not have too many runs through the die cutting machine when I'm doing a class, because as you can imagine, when you have a lot of class kits to prepare, shoo, that's a lot of different things to run through the die cutter. So we stuck with the main dies and some of the intricate ones too. Here's a really cool one too. This is just a border die, and it has kind of a pinking sheer edge on one side and some faux stitching on another. Beautiful accents and details that you can add to your cards on your own. Now the other part of this suite that is absolutely gorgeous, as it usually is when it comes to Stampin' Up! Paper, is the Artfully Composed Designer Series paper. These are just so, so beautiful. I love the color combinations. I'm going to show you some of these individually because they kind of look, you can't really see what's happening when they're all together, but these are just beautiful, beautiful patterns. And as usual, all of these are actual works of art that Stampin' Up! Has created. Their art concept team puts together actual works of art, takes photography of that, of all of those pieces. They color correct it, and then they add it, they print it out as paper. And then the back side, you're gonna have all of the coordinating patterns that are a little more subtle that you can match up with those beautiful leafy designs. So lots of greens. You can, it says a whole bunch of greens on there, but actually you can even go further than what they have on there. I have a lot of greens in our projects today that aren't even included in the color combination according to the catalog here. So if you go in the catalog, I don't know if you knew this, but it does actually have a list of all of the different colors that coordinate with this whole suite. So you have Calypso Coral, Pale Papaya, Pear Pizzazz, Evening Evergreen, Just Jade, and Mint Macaron. I found that, you know, you can use Old Olive, you can use, I use Soft Sea Foam, lots of different colors that you can put in there as well. So this is on page 32 and 33 of the mini catalog. So be sure to check that out. All right, other parts of this suite include, these are so unique and fun. Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't have my other light on. It's kind of hard to see some of this stuff. So the sea glass shapes are really unique. I love them. They're like little pebbles, and they're in white and Pear Pizzazz and kind of a, what was it? I think it's Just Jade. I'm not sure, but it's kind of a coastal cabana even. Really, really pretty. These are carrying over into the new catalog, so I'm excited to see that. And then we also have this really pretty white frayed ribbon. And this ribbon has kind of a, I don't know, it's almost a shimmer. There's not a metallic to it, but it's almost like a pearly look to it. I'm not really sure, but it's called frayed ribbon, and it's easy to see that you can see the little frayed edges on it. Really pretty. It's not the best, of course, for doing bows because it's going to give you something that's, you know, a huge knot. You could do it on like a package or a 3D item, but it's not very good for cards in that way. However, we're going to use it as a layer instead of cardstock. So I'll show you how we can do that as well. So that's another part of the suite. There's one more part that I didn't bring over here, and it's the lovely layered vellum. I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, I didn't use it in the projects, so I didn't bring it over here, but you can see it in the catalog, and it is going to be in our new catalog as well. So I figured I was going to try that out with maybe a different class some other time. I was getting too many patterns, and I wanted to just stick to what we had and in the main part of the suite. Okay, let's get going with our projects. So the first one, we're starting out with Shaded Spruce. That's not even on the color list, but it goes really well with that color as well. So this is a traditional card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we'll crease it with our bone folder. And let's start out with that beautiful paper. I mean, you can create such a lovely background with this paper. This is going to be a 3 by 5 1/4 inch piece of the Artfully Composed paper. And I'm just going to put that on the right hand side. And then I have another little strip here that's 1 by 5 1/4. And I'll just put a little bit of seal on that as well. And then this side will have a little bit of a pattern. We're going to add some of the Evening Evergreen Windowpane ribbon. Now this was a new ribbon in the mini catalog, and I just thought it would look perfect with this suite of projects because of that beautiful Evening Evergreen and white. And this is going to be in the new catalog as well, so you can continue to use this on some projects with whatever is in there. Can't wait for you guys to see all the new stuff. We'll trim off the edges here. Whoops, let's make that a little more even. All right, so here is our background. I have one more piece here that I'm gonna add. This is a piece of Pear Pizzazz. It's 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. And that's gonna go the full length of the card. I'm just gonna tuck that so it goes right over to the edge here flush, and the edge on the other side flush. All right, so there's our background. And now we're just gonna, it's really easy. I mean, we have such a lovely patterning in the background. That's kind of the focal point. We're just gonna add a sentiment and a little bit of detail. So I already have a die cut here, a basic white. It's die cut with the stitched So Sweetly dies. You guys, I'm so sad. It's retiring. I'm not sure if it's on the sold out list yet. If it isn't, and you want some good shapes of labels and you don't already have it, Stitched So Sweetly is one of my favorite classic must-have label die sets. I'm so sad it's going to be gone, but we'll get new things that we can play with, so never fear. So we're going to stamp a sentiment, and we'll stamp that in Shaded Spruce to match our card base. And then we'll pop that up with some dimensionals. But before we do, we want to add, I have a little die cut that I use the Tropical Layers dies, and just beautiful greenery that you can get out of that. I just absolutely adore the die cuts. Now you can use some multi-purpose liquid glue if you want to. I just put a little bit of seal right down by the base because that's going to be covered up. And I'm going to kind of tuck that under here a little bit and push that down. And then this is going to go right over the top with some dimensionals. So let me add those. And just really simple, really easy. Not a lot of stamping, but it's so pretty. The result is so, so pretty. We're gonna finish up with some Iridescent Rhinestones. Let me find my little piercing tool here. I'm just gonna put a couple of those over here for a little tiny bit of sparkle. There you go. So that is it. So quick, so easy, beautiful card. And of course, sending all the hugs. I love that. What a beautiful sentiment, just for a nice thinking of you style of card. So there's our first card. And then I want to show you my Too Cool version. I always do a second version. This one, I started with a different sheet of the Artfully Composed paper for the background, a different selection of coordinating pattern of Designer Series paper with the Pale Papaya pattern. We use that same Windowpane ribbon, some Just Jade going across the background, Pear Pizzazz for the greenery, and then Evening Evergreen for the sentiment color. Otherwise, it's the same design. I love how both of those turned out. And again, so quick and easy. All right, this is the one that's going to be in your class kit. Okay, the next one also features some Designer Series paper. We're starting out with Old Olive this time. Again, this is another color, not on the official list of colors that coordinate, but it certainly coordinates beautifully. So we'll start out this one with, this is a 2.5 by 5.5 inch piece of the Artfully Composed Designer Series paper. And we're gonna layer that onto a 2 3/4 by 5.5 inch piece of Just Jade. And remember, Just Jade, we're using that a lot in this particular class, but that's one of those in colors that we'll be leaving. Whoops, oh, that seal is so sticky and I didn't quite get it in the position that I wanted to. Hold on. But that Just Jade is retiring. So this is kind of like the last hurrah with Just Jade. Now, some of the things that I'm doing here are actually using Just Jade ink. If you do not have Just Jade ink, but you have the shaded spruce, you can do a stamp off once and get that Just Jade color. So don't worry, you don't need to, purchase Just Jade. It might even be, I know the refills were sold out. I don't know about the ink pads, but we're right at the tail end of that. You don't need to get it if you don't have it already. Just do a stamp off once from the shaded spruce. Okay, so here is our background. Simple, simple, simple. And then we're going to do a little focal point with one of the stamps. So I love this really pretty leafy image. We're going to start by stamping in Soft Seafoam, also another color that isn't on the official list of coordinating colors. So just ink that up. Then we're going to use some Just Jade ink. Again, if you don't have Just Jade, you can use Shaded Spruce, you can use Evening Evergreen, but I just am using a sponge dauber and just highlighting some of the edges of the leaves. So don't go over the whole thing, just kind of here and there along the edges, put a little bit of the Just Jade color. Then you might want to just huff on it a little bit just to bring that color out again, and stamp onto some basic white. And I just love, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's like a watercolored image. And you can do this with any two colors. You always want to start with the lighter color first with your ink pad to just get the full coverage over the whole stamp, and then just sponge on whatever color that you like. So that is our focal point image. I already did one and then cut it out. So in your kit, you'll just get a sheet of cardstock, and you'll need to have the dies in order to cut it out perfectly, or you can use your paper snips to trim around that if you don't want to get the full bundle. So that's going to be on our card as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that on right now with some seal. And I'm going to kind of hang that over the edge. And then we're going to put a sentiment along the bottom. We'll start out with a piece here of the white frayed ribbon. That's going to be kind of, like I said, kind of a focal point. So I'm just going to add some seal right across my card, and then layer my ribbon right across there. And then I'm going to just trim it a little bit, like so. And then we'll finish up with a little sentiment. This is Soft Seafoam again, and I have already pre-die cut with the stitched rectangles dies. Those are going to be staying in the new catalog. So thank goodness. Rectangles are basics, and we love that particular die label set. So this time we're going to put Happiest Birthday Wishes. Now I wanted to show you a trick, because sometimes when you mount these rubber cling and you're looking at the actual sentiment and you go to line that up, and I'm just using it against a piece here, or one of the lines here from my grid paper, and I'm lining up birthday wishes. And then you look and you say, oh, that's not straight. And it's just because for whatever reason you didn't get the sticker on correctly, or maybe something was off with the die cutting process. So what I do in that case is I kind of, when I'm putting my stamp on here on my block, I like to kind of eyeball it and make sure that this sentiment is parallel to the bottom of my block, so that when I ink that up, now I'm going to line up the bottom of my block with one of those lines instead of the actual sentiment. So it's going to look like it's going to stamp crooked, and then I line that up, and then it stamps straight. So that's kind of how I get around not being able to see through it. Of course, if it was photopolymer, it'd be perfect, but not everything is in photopolymer. And part of the reason of that is you wouldn't be able to get a beautiful stamped image like this as well if you didn't use the rubber. So anyway, just wanted to give you that little hint because I found that all of my sentiments were all crooked on this stamp set. Okay. So there's our happiest birthday wishes, and then I'm going to add just some mini dimensionals. I'm going to try to not hit that frayed ribbon because I don't want to have my sentiment be too bumpy. I think it's still going to hit that ribbon actually, but we're going to try to keep it off of that ribbon. So I'm putting the dimensionals as far out as I possibly can. Fling your backings over to the side. All right. And then add that right over the ribbon. So we just have a little piece of the ribbon sticking out on each side. And we're going to finish up with our sea glass shapes. So I'm just going to add, there's large and small shapes here. So I'm going to add a white one. I'm going to add this little Jade, whoops, that's the same, I don't want the same shape. A little jade one, and then one of the pear ones over here at the top. So can you see that? Aren't they cute? I love that. Now I would have, when I was designing it, I would have liked to put the shapes on the sentiment. Of course, that you can see how much they stick up, just a little bit. They're pretty flat, but they are, you know, another layer, and I didn't want them to stick up too much, or the post office just doesn't like that. So since I already had this part of it stuck up, this is gonna be not any higher than that. So I thought that that would work out just fine. So here is the first card. Let me show you my Too Cool version using a different pattern paper from the Artfully Composed. This has an Evening Evergreen card base. This time we used mint macaron from the for the sentiment. We stamped in Evening Evergreen to match, and then for our focal point here, we added, I think I started with Pear Pizzazz, and then I added some Evening Evergreen for the sponging on it before I stamped that, and an Old Olive background matte for that designer series paper. So, and then the same little sea glass on the sentiment, or around the sentiment. So, so pretty. I like these so much, and I thought you'd have a lot of fun experimenting with the sponging. We're gonna do both of these cards in your kit. So you'll get to try some different color combinations there. Plus, they're both birthday cards, and I know everyone can use a lot of birthday cards. All right, third card. I don't know about you, but I use basic white all the time, and I very rarely use the Very Vanilla, so I thought, why not try a card in Very Vanilla? So this is just a traditional 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4, and we'll be doing another vertical card, but I thought that'd be a fun base. And then I wanted to show you some different ways that you can start using collage and layering some of these pieces, and that you know, it's really easy to have a quick and easy card with the designer series paper, but you can create such a beautiful background with the images as well. There's really so much versatility with this bundle. So let me show you. I have a piece here of Very Vanilla, and by the way, this is the thick version for the card base. You definitely want to get the thick for the sturdiness of the card base, and then you can use the regular Very Vanilla for your layer. So this is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And we're going to start out with the sentiment. We'll use just Jade. And again, if you don't have that, you can use Shaded Spruce stamped off once. I'm going to add this at the top. And then we're going to use mint macaron, and we're going to stamp these little clusters of leaves here all the way down diagonally, like so, in the mint macaron. Then we'll use pale papaya and this little background. It's type, but it looks like it's in Latin, so I really love it. It's just kind of a distressed type font, and we're just going to add that randomly around the card. So it really kind of goes with, where's the one that we did? This one. If you can see this paper, it has kind of type behind that. I don't know whether you can pick that up in the video or not, but it has pale papaya, and it's kind of a cursive font here. This is not cursive, but it's just kind of a nice, it's just a little distressed background. I don't know. It's cute. So we'll just add that 3 times just to add a little pale papaya color. You don't have to go crazy with the background. Then we have just a little piece here of the Artfully Composed stripes, and this one is 3.5 by 3/4 inch. This is going to go right across this piece, and then we'll layer that onto a 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 inch piece of pear pizzazz. Just a hint of that pear pizzazz coming out. All right, before we put that on our card, let's add some pale papaya open weave ribbon. I was very excited to learn that this in color ribbon, the open weave style, is going to be in the new catalog, so we can still be enjoying this beautiful satiny, soft, and transparent ribbon. I love it. It just ties so well and adds just a hint of color. Love it. All right, we'll scooch this right over, and then we'll add this to our card base, and we're going to actually pop it up with dimensionals over the whole background. I just wanted it to really have an impact, so I'll add a whole lot of dimensionals. So bear with me here, a little patience while we rise it up, rise it up, I don't know, raise it up. Who knows what I am talking about sometimes. All right, and that just goes right in the center here. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, you could just stop, you could stop right there. You wouldn't even have to add anything now that I look at it, but let's not. Let's add something. All right, so we have a piece here of pale papaya, just a scrap piece. We're gonna stamp this larger leaf from the Artfully Layered stamp set in pale papaya right over the top. Then we can use our Tropical Layers dies to cut that out. So I already have that shape ready to go. And then I also cut out a Pear Pizzazz intricate die cut that kind of goes along with that leaf. Now this is fun. If you did it, you know, if you didn't want to do stamping, you could do this in a darker color and lay it over the top. Do you see how that goes exactly, or just about exactly? I guess it doesn't go perfectly. Let's see if it goes on this side. It kind of goes perfectly with the other side of the shape. Anyway, experiment. Try different things out. So we're going to use this separately though. We're going to use our multi-purpose glue. If you wanted to, you could sponge on the glue. It's going to give you full coverage. You can use like the Silicone Craft matte sheet, add a little glue to it, and a sponge or a sponge dauber, and just you know, lightly sponge that adhesive on the back. That's going to give you full coverage. I just did some dabs, lightly dab, and then I'm going to tuck this right under that ribbon and push that down. We want to hold it down for just a few seconds. Make sure that it catches nicely and is secure. And then, whoops, and it gets stuck to your finger sometimes. All right, and then we'll finish up with, you could pop this up if you wanted to. Again, I don't want it to get too high since we already have the background popped up. I'm just adding some seal. You might even want Seal Plus since we're going over that ribbon, but that ribbon's pretty thin, so I'm not too worried about it. And then we'll finish up with, you know, we have a formula here. We have put all the parts together, have the ribbon, finish up with some bling, right? You guys know me. You've been with me long enough. These are some classic matte dots, and they're in beautiful neutral colors. And so you have white, we're using the vanilla, there's gray, and also black. And these are in the mini catalog, I believe, and they're also going to be in the brand new annual catalog. So we'll have that available to use on future projects as well. So there is our very vanilla collage card. Isn't that gorgeous? There's so many things. And if you had, you know, more die cuts, you could really do a lot with the different layers of die cuts too. Like I said, I try not to have too many die cuts or I will go absolutely insane trying to die cut for our card kits. But I do want to give you a taste so that you can see how things are put together. So let's show you our other, if I can find it, my Too Cool version. I did one in the white as well, and then this time it's in just Jade as the background. I stamped in Mint Macaron again. I used Old Olive, or actually probably Pear Pizzazz for the type. I used Soft Sea Foam for the front leaf, Old Olive for the intricate leaf, some wrinkled white seam binding for the ribbon, and then the white of the classic matte dots. Really pretty. I love both of those versions. So your card kit is going to have the very vanilla with that pop of pale papaya. All right, we have one more card to show you. And this time, there is no designer series paper at all. We're gonna just focus on the beautiful stamped imagery, starting out with a gray granite card base. We have a piece here. Let me give you the exact measurement. It is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So that, and it's basic white. And we're gonna start out doing just a bunch of stamping. So I'm gonna have to clean some of my stamps off. I got my Simply Chamois here. So a little smush smush. And we'll clean those off. What else do I need? I need this one. And this one, and our big leaves. So you'll notice my Simply Chamois is a mess, but it still works great, you guys. This is one of the most fantastic improvements in my stamping. I don't know if you guys have one of these Simply Chamois. They're just awesome. They stain, they look really gross, but all you need to do is rinse them out when you're done with your stamping session. They're ready to go the next time. All of this black and stuff on here, it doesn't come off unless, you know, once you rinse it out, it's just going to be stained. So works perfectly every time. I love, love, love it. All right, so we have, let me get this one out of the way. Let's start with our large leaf here. And we're going to do, I'm bringing over my sample because I want to make sure that I do it right. We're going to start with Soft Sea Foam for our first few images here. So we have one coming in here. Let's do another one over here. And then one coming in up here. So just 3 of those. Then we're going to do just Jade again. If you want, you can do that Shaded Spruce stamped off once. And we'll do one here one here. And one coming in from that side. So 3 of those as well. Next up, we're going to do a cluster of leaves in Pool Party. So this is really not from the color combination, but that is the beauty of it. Since we're not using the Designer Series paper, we can use any inks that we want to. So this is when you can go crazy. I'm just making this kind of a neutral with some blues. Do any kind of color combination you want. You're going to make beautiful designed pattern paper of your own, basically. Gray granite, and we'll finish up with this distressed type. So kind of filling in the blanks wherever you might see some extra white. All right, and then I didn't worry as much over here. This is where my sentiment's going to go, so I do have quite a bit of white here, but that's going to be covered up. We're going to layer that onto a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of Just Jade again. I told you I was going crazy with that retiring color. My last hurrah with that beautiful Just Jade. All right, and then we'll put that right onto our gray granite background. See how beautiful that is? Just overlapping all of the imagery. Love it. All right, next up we have a piece of Pool Party here, and it's 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. I've already embossed it with the brick and mortar texture embossing folder, and that is going to be in the new catalog, so you'll still be seeing that in our projects sometimes. So I'm going to just cover that area up on this side. Then we're going to add another die cut. This is in Pear Pizzazz. So this is just another shape from those tropical layered dies. And again, you can use that, you can sponge on the liquid glue or just use some really small dabs like I'm using. And then it's like, where do I grab it? We're going to just add this right here. Hold it in place again for just a few seconds. And we're going to do another strip of ribbon, this time with the Just Jade and gold braided ribbon. So again, I'm putting that seal across. Just put a strip. I'm actually going about this far with it. Laying that. Did you know this braided ribbon, you can pull it apart to make it a little bit wider if you wanted to. I love that. But this is retiring, so this is definitely last hurrah with this ribbon. So we'll add that and then trim the ends off. This, we'll do it a little bit further out. And then I'm gonna, since it's braided and I showed you that you can kind of pull it apart, I'm gonna fray out the ends a little bit. I love that, just a little bit of gold on there. And then we'll finish up with a sentiment. And I have a basic white, I have just a little bit of that ribbon stuck to me with the adhesive. Layering circles is going to be in the new catalog as well, so that's carrying over. This is a basic white die cut from that set, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment. The final sentiment, we will have used all of them in, I just put, oh no, it's the ribbon. That ribbon is like all stuck to me. There we go. We will add a couple of dimensionals. And pop this up over the ribbon again. And There we go. Now we're going to finish up with a couple more of those sea glass pebbles. So this time I'm going to add a Pear Pizzazz one down here. We'll do another Jade one down here, and then a white one up here. Let's do it right here. Fill in that little spot there. So there is another idea for a beautiful background stamped layer, as well as some collaging. And again, try different colors, experiment with different combinations. This is such a beautiful stamp set. It just really works with so many different things. I thought, how fun would it be to do just neutrals? So this one starts out with soft suede. It has a basic gray matte behind it. I stamped in soft suede, and I believe that's crumb cake and gray granite again for the type. The cluster of leaves is in smoky slate. And then I have Sahara sand for the brick. I have basic gray for the die cut leaves. The white frayed ribbon looks beautiful. Soft suede for the sentiment, and then the white classic matte dots. So I thought that looked really pretty with that neutral color combination as well. So this is the one that's going to be in your card kit. Let's get all the cards back that you're going to have in your card kit so you can see everything that you'll get. You'll get both of these versions, and then this one as well. So here are all of the different cards you can make with your Artfully Composed Live Class Kit. Remember, I give you all of the pieces, all of the die cuts, unless it is stamped first. If it's something that's stamped first, like this one, or either one of these sponge ones, I want you to be able to stamp it and get a precise die cut with your own die cut. So you'll need to have either the bundle or be prepared to trim those out. But all of the other intricate die cut leaves, those will all be included, as well as the sentiment layers, the embellishments, the ribbons, the pebbles, you know, all of that, or the sea glass, I guess it's not the pebbles, but all of that will be available. So you just need to add the stamps, the inks, and the adhesives. And then you can put all of these beautiful cards together. Now, to earn the kit, remember, you need to place an order with me for just $35 or more. Go to toocoolstamping.com and click on the Shop Now link. That'll take you to my online store. You can place your order there. Remember, when you get to the checkout page, you need to put that host code in there. That way I know which class kit you want to get for free, because sometimes I have two going on at one time. So this is host code MUKKEKAP. Again, on the checkout page, right at the top right, you'll see a box. You can add that. If you happen to want to place an order for $150 or more, don't use the host code. I want you to not use it, because then you'll earn Stampin' Reward dollars that you can spend on that order. You'll earn at least $15 depending on your sales total. So other than that, use that host code and I will get that out to you. Now you're going to have until next Tuesday, May the 3rd. That's that special day where that catalog comes out. So you can either purchase items from the current catalog, and you'll have until the 2nd to do that, or you can wait until the new catalog is out and you can place that first order on the first day using that host code, and that will earn you the kit as well. So you have until the 3rd, and then everything will ship out to you or mail out to you on the 10th. So that's when I'll get everything in the mail. So I've had several people that have contacted me and said, I just got my Stampin' Up! Order that I placed, but I didn't get the kit from you. Why is it not in there? And I just wanted to clarify again that these are kits that are made exclusively by me. They have nothing to do with Stampin' Up!, the company themselves. And I just put those together for you and send those to you separately if you earn them by placing an order from Stampin' Up!, because obviously the Stampin' Up! Order helps me, and this is my appreciation gift to you. So you're not going to get those together, and they do not go out until I usually put a deadline, and in this case, it's going to be May 10th that they will be put in the mail. And I do the USPS, so just the regular postal service. All right, everybody, I think I've covered everything. Let me just remind you again, if you missed it at the beginning of the video, this is the last week that my orders, the minimum order will be 35. Next week with the new catalog, I do need to raise that to $40 for your minimum order, simply because of all of the price increases, not only with Stampin' Up! And some of the products that they're having, but also with the Postal Service. So that will be changing. Just wanted to give you a heads up for that. All right, everybody, I'm going to close it out. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and watching me create, and hopefully you'll get this kit yourself and have so much fun exploring all of the different layering and color options with these beautiful, beautiful images. Hope you've enjoyed it. I will talk to you next week for sure, and we're going to be talking about the new in colors. So I'll see you on May 3rd. Hopefully we'll not have any reschedules. I'm sorry about that, but May 3rd, we're going to do a special in color class kit. You're not going to want to miss it. See you then. Bye-bye.